Hello Photoshoppers, today I'm going to show you how to color grade your images using Apply Image in Photoshop. To start out, I'm going to go ahead and open up a color balance adjustment layer. Boom, color balance. And this is a photo of my lovely wife Lindsay in Joshua Tree. And I don't know how many old westerns you've watched or desert movies you've watched, but there's always this sort of like yellow greenish sort of desert tint to emphasize the oppressiveness of the sun. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to add some of that to our image here. And I'm just going to crank the yellow. And it's going to look pretty dramatic when it's applied to the entire image like this. But I'm going to show you how to make it a much finer adjustment very, very soon. Maybe a little bit of green. Maybe not. We'll see. We'll see how I like it later on. Just a bead of red. Now this is looking mighty oppressive, much like we mentioned. And what we're going to do is we're going to refine this adjustment using Apply Image. So first you want to select your layer mask. Boom, boom, boom. It's already selected. We'll go up to Image, Apply Image, and we want to make sure this invert box isn't checked because we want it to affect our highlights, not our shadows. And if you look at the image overall, it's already done a really great job of keeping our color adjustment mostly in the highlights. If you want to have a closer look, hold Alt or Option, click on the layer mask, and it'll show you exactly how the mask has been applied. Now, if you know, when you paint on the white layer mask with black, you're taking away that adjustment. So wherever it's darker, the adjustment's going to be weaker. But you can still see detail here, right? So it's not a black, it's more of a gray. So while it's hiding a lot of the color adjustment, we're still getting some of it, like in the hair here in the shadows and in the shadows on her face. And let's just say for the sake of argument that we want it to be a lot weaker in the shadows than it is right now. Let's go right back to Image, Apply Image, and do the same thing again, right? And if you're looking at the screen here, not over here, you'll have noticed a dramatic difference, right? So let's go look at our layer mask again. And now you'll see that there's only white or light gray, I should say, in the highlights, and the shadows are almost totally black. So we're not going to get any of that color adjustment at all here in the shadows, but we'll keep it here in the highlights where we want it, which is exactly what we want. With that, I like to add a little bit of an extra bit of drama when I'm doing my color grading. So I'm gonna do a little adjustment in the shadows as well. We're gonna add some blue and some cyan because what goes great with a warm orange highlight better than a blue cyan shadow. So we'll crank that up. And I always like to go a little bit too far when I'm doing these adjustments, and then I'll dial it back later on just to make it look a little bit better. That's pretty good. And obviously we don't want it affecting our entire image like this. So we're going to go right back to Image, Apply Image. And this time we do want it to affect our shadows. So we'll just invert the adjustment here, right? That's all it takes. And for your other settings, always double check. This is usually the default, so you probably won't have to change these when you do it. But make sure the layer says merged, RGB in the channel, blending mode, multiply. Always double check that that's what this says right here. I'm going to circle it a little bit longer so you guys really burn it into your mind. All right, good. And as you can see, that was kind of a weak adjustment. Like, it's still very bright in a lot of areas where we don't want the color to, like, we don't want this in our highlights at all. We only want it in the shadows, and it's in the sky, it's on her face. So we're going to go back and we're going to do it again, just like we did before. Apply Image. Make sure invert's still selected. And it's still a little too strong. It's a lot better, right? But it's still up here in the sky, and it's not as dark on her face as I would like. So we'll go back and we'll do it one more time. Boom. And there, now, if we check our layer mask, it's totally black on the sky, right? So we're not affecting our sky at all anymore. Barely affecting the face, only affecting the shadows of the image. And I probably did go a little bit too far with my colors here, so I'm just going to dial them back just a little bit. And there we go. And I always combine my color grade layers. So if I decide overall it's a bit too strong, you can always just turn down your opacity to make it a bit weaker. But I actually quite like this adjustment, so I'm just going to leave it the way it is. And I'll just click back and forth from before and after. I'll do it correctly. There we go. So you can see what it looks like. And yeah, overall it's still not quite what I would like for a final adjustment. I know that you guys don't care for the sake of this video, but I'm going to go ahead and make it exactly. Yeah, there we go. It's too much cyan. That's what it is. That's much better. So yeah, now it still has that warm, deserty feel without feeling a little bit too cooked like it did a second ago. And here's how it looks. And that's it. That's all it takes to use Apply Image. Thanks for watching.